Today we are in Berwick upon Tweed, and this is Berwick Castle behind us. We've just been reading about it, and like most of the castles around here, it was at the forefront of the war between the Scots and the English, and it actually changed hands between Scottish and English ownership 13 times before it was finally recaptured by the English in the 1300s. That partly due to a man called John Crabbe, who was a Flemish pirate who's based in Aberdeen, and he basically took the castle for the Scots by dropping large rocks over the edge of it onto the English, who were trying to basically ruin the foundation, undermine, thank you, that was what I was looking for, undermine the foundations. And then he went off marauding and then was captured by the English, and then he transferred his allegiance to the English. And it says he transferred his allegiance to the English and they lived a very respectable and comfortable retirement. You think, well, I'm going to get executed or I'm going to work for the English. Oh, what a difficult decision. But hey-ho. So that's Berwick Castle. And then the other way, this is the famous, or fairly famous, viaduct designed by Robert Stevenson, that the mainline railway from London to Edinburgh goes across the Tweed River.
Call it off, let it go.
So we're in Berwick on Tweed, as I said, and we're now on the ramparts, and we're going to walk around the ramparts of the old town. These were built in about the late 1500s during Elizabeth I's reign to try and strengthen the town against rampage from the Scots. But one of the things we've discovered is actually Lowry was a big feature of this town. In the late 1800s, early 1900s, Lowry visited the town a lot and did a lot of paintings of the town as well. And there's one in front of us here.
Away in the night, well, sometimes it just feels right, possessed by the moonlight. Well, sometimes you let it in, sometimes you'll get it. Don't wait for the sun.
So this is Ravensdown Barracks behind me, and that was begun in 1717, which was 2 years after the Jacobite Rebellion of 1715. And it was because the townspeople found that accommodating soldiers was troublesome and inconvenient. So this was built to house 600 soldiers and 36 officers, and it was used for over 200 years until 1964 actually as well, by the King's own Scottish borderers.
It's the oldest in Britain.
Oh, is it the oldest in Britain? Oh, there you go, I didn't know that, there you go.
Don't wait for the sun, baby, don't leave me, just dance and believe in it. Don't cross the line, let the temperature rise.
So we have arrived in Scotland. We crossed over the border about 3/4 of an hour ago, just sort of down the road that way a little bit. And this is our park up for the night. We don't really know exactly where we are. We know we're near Duns, and that little stream in the bottom of the valley there is called the White Adder Water. But actually we can't get any kind of a signal, so we're not too sure where we are, but it is lovely. We've had 2 cars pass us in the last hour and a half, just when we were trying to video, obviously. And the weather now, it was sunny when we arrived, and the weather has definitely closed in a bit now. But it is lovely. The only thing we've got around here is sheep, which is perfect. And yes, it's absolutely beautiful. So we've been in, since we left Melton, we've spent 6 nights, 5 nights in Northumberland and 1 night here. And we spent £36 on camping in total so far.
That's not bad going,
That's
is it?
not bad going at all. 2 nights at the Haven Holiday Park, not where we thought we'd end up, but it was perfectly peaceful, it was quiet, had everything we needed. And it was very conveniently located for Berwick and Alnwick and all those kind of places, Lindisfarne.
And for £13 a night, you can't really
a night,
complain,
you can't
can
go
you?
wrong. No, you cannot go wrong at all. And here we are on the borders of Scotland. The weather is not quite as nice as it was yesterday. No, actually it's similar to yesterday, isn't it really?
Yes.
Not nearly as windy as yesterday.
But I think it's going to be one of those things in Scotland that 1 minute it's going to be like this, next minute
Yeah.
it's going to be
As I say, it was
beautiful
lovely about an hour
sunshine.
ago, wasn't it? So
Yeah, it was.
it might be nice again later on, you never know.
Indeed. But lovely place again.
It is, it's fantastic, so peaceful, it's beautiful.
And this is what you think about when you think of Scotland, really.
What,
Just
mist.
well, yeah, well, there is that. Yes, I actually meant the countryside.
Yeah,
and
no, I
the,
agree.
The heather, the
Yeah.
sheep,
Sheep,
the,
yeah,
the
absolutely.
rolling hillsides. No, lovely.
So here we are by the White Castle Iron Age hill fort, which is over here to my right. Apparently is what I say, because it is an incredibly foggy, damp day again here in the Scottish borders. And as you can probably see from the video, it is, yeah, you can't see a hand in front of your face really. It was like that last, we got there and there was about an hour of sunshine, and then the fog came in and it hasn't lifted at all since then. But, you know, it's still beautiful even if it is very, very foggy. Are you still there, Rog? I can't see you anymore.
Exactly.
So here we are on the east coast of Scotland. We are just into Scotland, just above Dunbar, and we're on a nature trail. I can't actually remember the name of it, but Roger can put the bit in the bottom of the video for you. We saw 3 deer when we got out of the car. We've seen, there's also apparently pink-footed geese here, but I haven't seen them yet. But it's lovely. I mean, it's quite misty again, not going to lie about that, but it is a beautiful trail. And it was actually getting quite bright when we got out of the car as well, but it looks like the fog's coming in again. But yeah, stunning beach as well. The sea goes out miles here.
We're on Golf Course Road as well.
Oh yes, yes, we are. We're on the coastal golf course road or something like that, which basically there's Muirfield along here, and every other turning has a golf course off it, a links course, and yeah. And we're heading to North Berwick. So it's safe to say that our park up tonight isn't nearly as quiet as our park up last night was. We're now on the East Lothian coast near North Berwick, and there's 5 or 6 other vans in the little car park that we're in, but there aren't any signs that say no camping, so presumably it'll be okay to camp there overnight. Yeah, and it's still very grey and very foggy, but it's a lovely coastal path, this one. Beautiful beach down there with a few people on it, 5 or 6 people on it just now. Yeah, it's it's not actually that cold, is it really?
No, not at all.
But it's a very damp, grey day, I think it's fair to say.
As Jill just said, it's a rather different park for a night from last night. Last night we were the only ones there. Tonight it's heaving. And this really isn't our type of camping spot. I think we've learnt our lesson here and won't be hopefully going to this type of place again. You never know when you get there how many people are actually going to turn up. But yeah, it's just not our type of place. We feel bad for the locals who want to come and walk their dogs. There's nowhere for them to park up, which is always a shame. So yeah, hopefully, as I say, we've learnt our lesson, and in future in Scotland we will be going to somewhere hopefully rather quieter.
We are currently driving along the Hillfoots Trail from Dunbar to Edinburgh, and this is the second stop en route, and this is the Pressmennan Woods. And we kind of drove up here to see what it was like, and then we realised there was a little trail with the possibility of seeing otters. This is only 1.5 miles long, but this is the lake that the otters apparently live in, and periodically you can see them, so we're definitely keeping our eyes open. But it's a very grey day, but that won't stop the otters, I'm sure. But we're looking around the edges of the water. We haven't seen any yet, sadly, but you never know.
Here in the moonlight, don't wait for the sun, don't wait for the sun. Baby, don't leave me, just dance and believe in it. Get on up, baby, you'll get it. Get on up, baby, you'll get it. Get on up, baby, come on, let's get it on. Let me show you how.
So today we're in Edinburgh, and at the moment we're in Holyrood Park. Holyrood House is around here somewhere. That's where the Queen Mother, Queen Mother, I can't remember who it was who used to like to come to Holyrood House. I think it was the Queen Mother. But we're down here and we are going up there somewhere. That's Arthur's Seat somewhere up there, and we're going to go and find it and see the view from the top, which is apparently quite spectacular. So we'll have to see. So we're on our way up to Arthur's Seat. This is about 3/4 of the way up. Stunning views of Edinburgh behind. You can also see the Forth Road Bridge over there. You can see various points. You could see Holyrood House down here as well, and various bits of the capital as well. We've still got another 1/4 or so to go, but it looks stunning views up here. Absolutely amazing. This is a massive park as well. This apparently is an old volcano. So we are now at the top of Arthur's Seat, just outside Edinburgh, well, in the middle of Edinburgh actually, really. And this is allegedly where King Arthur's Camelot castle was, which is why it's called Arthur's Seat. It's one of the many tales that go around King Arthur, I think it's fair to say. If you've watched any of our other videos, you'll know there's a lot of them that feature King Arthur and his various exploits. So this is another one to add to the collection. And we did climb up here, but it was actually quite slippery, so I don't know what it's going to be like on the way down, or whether we can find a slightly better alternative route down would be nice. But yeah, if we don't make it to the bottom, then thank you very much. So we've just been up there. We've come down a different way because it was very slippery on the way down and we didn't feel particularly comfy. We came down quite a few steps, didn't we?
We
Which
did,
were
yes.
fine.
Yeah, no, it was fine.
And then we sort of walked round on the level here. Apparently that is the quickest route up, but it's the shortest route, I believe, isn't it, as well?
There is a shorter route,
Oh, is
which
there?
was exceptionally steep.
Oh, okay, fine.
But yeah, no, it was fine, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I'm very glad we didn't come down the other way because it was filthy as well. My trousers are disgusting now. But there you go. It's just one of those things, isn't it, really?
Indeed. So one of the things we did say is there aren't actually that many signs to say which way to go, which way is best.
No.
There was a map at the bottom, so we picked up a map, but we couldn't really read it that particularly well anyway. So
I'm very good with maps.
oh,
actually.
sorry, I didn't do
Come
that.
on. No, it wasn't the easiest thing to read. We just said it would have been much better if they'd had a little sign on each, a little post that just said this is the green route, this is the red route, whatever.
Indeed.
But no, it was.
Yeah.
It was. I'm glad we went up there. It was really good.
It was very impressive up there.
And if you're in Edinburgh, definitely do it. It's worth it.
Yes.
We could see this very modern building as we came towards Arthur's Seat down the Royal Mile. This is actually the Scottish Parliament building. So we are now in, I can't remember what this place is called, the Copper Still in Edinburgh on the Royal Mile, and we're going to have some breakfast. It's actually our second breakfast because we had breakfast at the van, but that was hours and hours ago, and I'm starving now because we've walked 5.25 miles so far this morning. It always happens when you go to cities, you walk miles and miles, don't you? But yeah, that was going up Arthur's Seat and back mostly. And yeah, we're about to have breakfast. I've ordered tea and a gluten-free Eggs Benedict, and Roger's also gone for a gluten-free Eggs Benedict with an orange juice. And we're very much looking forward to that because I'm really hungry now. So this is my Eggs Benedict with bacon. It looks absolutely delicious. I have taken some lactase tablets because I suspect there could well be something milky in the sauce, but I don't know. It shouldn't be, but you know, there might be. And I'm really looking forward to it because I'm quite hungry. So yeah, very much looking forward to this. Behind me is St Giles Cathedral. It's very typical of Scottish architecture. And just behind me here, they're going to be filming a Christmas advert, apparently. We've seen a few of the people wandering around the street with their dressing gowns on as well, over their costumes. But yeah, this is going to be a Christmas advert. We don't know if it's this year or not, but we're going to be looking out for it on the TV and we'll say, we've been there, we saw that being filmed. We're now on the very busy Royal Mile in Edinburgh, absolutely rammed with people. But it is lovely in terms of the architecture and the buildings. It's stunning. And behind Roger, there's loads more really nice buildings that we're going to have a look at in a minute as well. We're now at Edinburgh Castle, and we've just walked up the Royal Mile to the top of the hill here, and we found this massive structure, which must be for the Edinburgh military tattoo, presumably, which they're now taking down. And we said it must be just like a giant jigsaw, because actually, presumably, they store this every year. I mean, it is massive, this thing. Yeah, and they must store it every year, presumably, and wait for the tattoo to come round once a year, and it must be worth their while to do that. It's quite incredible. Now, we're very glad we actually booked tickets for the castle because they've sold out for today, and I'm not surprised looking at the number of people around here either. You can really see the scale of the tattoo building from here. It's quite incredible. It's a shame in a way that it's there, because I think you could have probably seen a bit more of the castle if it wasn't, but there you go, it's just one of those things. But yeah, I'm not sure I'd want to be sitting up in those top seats, either right out over, leaning over the walls, but there you go. So we're here at Edinburgh Castle, and it reminds me of the fact that 30 years ago this year, it was our wedding, and we've been on holiday for about our honeymoon for about 10 or 11 days.
Yep.
We got to Edinburgh, and we discovered that there was no film in Roger's camera. Because in those days you actually had to have film in the camera, and Roger kept saying, oh, this film's going on for ages and ages and ages.
It was one of those things that you think, okay, well, there's 36 pictures, so I was taking 36 pictures, got to 36, got to 37, 38. Normally it took one or two more, and it just kept going and going and going, and yeah, realised there was no film in the camera at all, so we didn't take a single photo when we're on honeymoon.
No, but there you go. So this is the Great Hall of Edinburgh Castle, and it was built by James IV in about 1513. It was completed, 1512, sorry, and just before he died at the Battle of Flodden, James was entertaining the Irish chief here, Hugh O'Donnell, where they were going to actually join together to make a treaty against England. As Roger said, everybody was against England.
Assume I'm right. Sometimes just let it. Sometimes just let it. Don't wait for the sun. Don't wait for the sun.
We're now in the Botanic Gardens in Edinburgh, and this is free to get into, and we just climbed the mountain. This is a Chinese mountain trek, so we just climbed up the Chinese hillside, and we actually only saw this sun about the pandas when we came down, which was a bit of a shame, because you have to look and find the pandas in the trees and see how many of them there are. And we've definitely seen one.